Hello? I can't hear you. I cannot. No, can't hear you. I cannot hear you. No, not yet. I think you need to turn on your microphone. It's a mute switch.
Does
It
it?
looks like you're set up just exactly right there. That's a joint, Dennis. Are you smoking weed these days? You can come smoke weed with me anytime you want to, partner.
Sounds like you got it. Maybe?
No, not quite yet.
Yes! Yay!
Yakety-dado. Hello, Dennis.
First, let me do this.
Also,
I'm not worthy.
you can kiss the little finger.
Remember, no tongues. I'm married.
How are you, sir? Good to see you again.
I'm doing good. I don't know if you know me, but
Well, we've met a couple of times backstage. I do remember.
oh, I've never been backstage. Never been.
Oh, well, then you're not the one I remember.
I was a regular on Video Ranch
Yeah.
for close to 10 years. My name there was Songsmith.
Oh,
I also have a radio show in which I play your music quite often.
that's right. I get emails from you all the time saying.
I can tell you that I played your certain songs, and I saw you play with the Monkees in Los Angeles at the Billboard Live gig when you were promoting the album Just Us.
Oh, yeah.
And over to the left side of the stage stood one Keith Emerson.
Really?
Yeah. So I walked over there. Just about the time I walked over there, Peter was playing his solo on, I think it was Believe Me. He does a solo, one of those songs.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about, which is the solo that he plays on The Girl I Knew Somewhere.
Right.
But go ahead.
Anyway, I walk right up to him. He's got a nice woman next to him. And I says, well, what do you think of Keith's playing? Peter's playing. He gives me a smile. And I could tell he was kind of busy. So I kind of walked away, but I didn't know if you knew that. I didn't know if you got backstage or anything.
Did he ever come to you again and say, thank you for the compliment or anything? Peter.
Well, I shook his hand in, no, I've never seen him again. Never seen him again.
No, Peter.
But his friend Paul, can't think of his name now. Robert Barry, he's a good friend of mine, and so that's how I got the hookup to get his autograph and stuff. But he was at your gig.
Yeah, I know.
Let me tell you, the prison.
Oh, thank you.
The prison. I tell you, I read an article in BAM magazine, and it was about you talking about the prison and the whole concept of the book and the record, which I could never do simultaneously because I would lose myself into the music, and I'm dyslexic that way. So, but I would take the book with me on the school bus to the college every day. On the bus, I'd be reading beats of.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right.
It was. Look, I'm shaking already. It was a mind blower, to say the least. And of course, I followed you with the first national band. Man, my lips are parched, and I don't know why. Yeah, that does it. How I sound now? Am I sounding better?
I sound a lot better now. And before, you sounded a little young.
Well, I'll tell you, never lend money to a man with a sense of humor.
There you are in your high 90s, right there. Stay right there. Hello, everybody. Dennis Holsebrook, 97 years old today.
Come here, I'll come you. God damn it, come here.
Oh, okay. I'll be quiet.
Listen, when I was a kid, 1968, I think, when the movie came out, I took a bus because no one would take me to a theater. I was a young kid. I've been hooked. I'm a first generation Monkees fan.
Oh.
And I went into the theater and all alone. Well, I mean, there were people there, but I had no one with me. And the movie freaked me out. I left that movie wondering about the secret of life.
Run screaming from the room.
No, I never screamed. I was cool.
Okay.
I sat through the whole movie. But when I got back on that bus home, man, I was trying to go, but the just in the beginning and the end, he did. But when I became an adult, I began to groove on it heartily.
Ah,
And it is a work of art. I mean, no doubt now I love it. I was too young to appreciate, but
yeah.
back then I couldn't appreciate Brian Wilson, and now I think he's a genius. So,
It's amazing how good the stuff was that was coming out of the 60s to the 90s. I mean,
oh, absolutely. And
classical rock and roll.
Tropical Campfires.
You think? Now, from your
Another-
lips to God's ears, I loved making that record. And if I could ever get that band together again, we're all very mature now. So if I could ever get us all alive on the stage at the same time, that's something.
Every song on that, I cannot start that CD, and I had to go all the way through because you're the way you write, you create, like you say, movies of the mind, and it's so true. And it's really been with you since the 60s, the songs I've heard and the Monkees and on.
Yeah.
You do create scenarios and movies, and you could close your mind, close your eyes and just see the imagery that you're saying.
Well, that's the first report I've had like that, Dennis, and it sounds great. That's exactly what I hoped would happen. I hope you found it fulfilling.
Oh, I get it. I'm a songwriter myself. I've written, I don't know, 1,000 songs.
Yeah.
But, I'm not you, baby. No, you're the man. Oh, and Ray's excellent. Ray's excellent album. It was such a departure from anything else she ever did, but I dug it, and I got hooked on it from being in Video Ranch.
Oh, good for
and
you.
going to the little things. They'd play the little snippets of music, and I go to the piano, would play Raise, you go to the cloud, up to the pie, it would play that, that with that Chester Thompson organ, who's a badass MF.
I'll say Chester something, wasn't he? Well, I don't know how to say this. There's a lot of people who would not like what I'm about to say, which is that Raise sounds better if you're high. Now,
I never listened to it any other way.
Don't. Yeah, then and I, made it with that in mind. I was high when I wrote it. I was high when I sang it. I thought, I'm going to make this a psychedelic mind alterant if I can. And I think I could. I think it did turn that around, a certain pivot point, which was, let's think about these things differently. What happens if the prison is not real? What happens if these things that we take for granted all the time, we shouldn't take for granted? They have a certain gravitas we have to acknowledge.
Always acknowledge.
Yeah.
And acknowledgement is the first step for anything. It's the first step to be cured. It's the first step to get somewhere. You have to acknowledge. That is if I may say, the groundwork of life in general.
Then Yeah, that's great. You've been there. And so I thought, well, I'll make a record about that. We'll see where it goes. Now, I had not a hard time, but I had to think, what do I call this? How do I distinguish it from the prison and the garden and so forth? How do I do all that stuff that needs to be done artistically? And you know what, Dennis? It was just as easy as slipping on a pair of silk socks. It was just whoosh. And it was so much fun. And I was working with such great musicians at the time. I don't know whether they'll, get international recognition or not.
Well, I played on my show.
Yeah, okay. And
I have a worldwide audience.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
And if you want, and if you can get them to listen to some of those synthesizer solos that Dasher Kempton played, it just makes my mouth open. I go, can't believe that somebody, and he plays at a local nightclub. He plays down at the piano bar.
Oh man.
What a setup.
You're always reinventing yourself. And I like to think of you as the father of country rock.
Thank you.
I believe. You did it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you were doing it before anyone else was doing it, before the Eagles, before any of those other competitors.
Well, it's warming to my heart to hear you acknowledge that and say it, because it's, you know, when you set off as an artist, I'm sounding a little bit more gobsmacked than I am. But when you set off on a tour or course or a direction artistically, you just have to commit everything. You can't leave anything off the table, because it'll come up and bite you. And I'll say, well, what about this? And you go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And you can't do that if it's a record, you know, it's all got to be there right at the time. So the idea of putting together the garden and the prison and what you're talking about, the companion CD, all of that was trying to work around this maypole of centricity that was what the thing was about, which was what may appear to be is not always necessarily the case.
It would
And
make a great movie.
I think it
It
would
would make a great movie. In today's time, people would dig it, man. I mean it. It could
From
be a
your
trilogy. Make it as a trilogy.
Yeah, sure. From your lips to God's ears, Dennis Holtby.
I lips to anybody's ears at this point. I tell you, I got to ask though.
Yeah, go ahead.
The black box.
Which black box?
The black box in the Monkeys series, you had a black box where you all stayed in and they hit a light when they needed one of his.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So
What about it?
What was going on in that black box?
Well, nothing. It was just a signal that let the
No,
four of
but-
us know that when we were wanted on stage.
But while you were waiting, what was going on? You know, was there people in there? Was it a party atmosphere?
Well, it wasn't really a party atmosphere. We went in there for a recreational smoke,
Mhm.
and I wasn't smoking as much as I do now
Mhm.
then, but everybody was. You know, we were all high from the minute we started shooting that show until now.
There's this one shot of Davy Jones when he's saying he's commenting about this thing and he goes, how? And his eyes are so slanty and you look at him and go, he's stoned. He's definitely, because his eyes are usually much bigger.
Yeah. Well, we were always pretty upfront about being stoned. You know, we weren't trying to hide anything. It was like, yeah, Mick's high.
You know,
I learned how to get high from Mick because he has a very easygoing ability to let it all go and just say, yeah, we're hanging out, what the heck? And he taught me to do that. And when he taught me to do it, I started laughing so hard. I couldn't quit for like 10 minutes. It was so much fun. And he was just saying, this is how you do it. Let it go, which was a riff on Lennon's Turn Off Your Mind, Relax, Float Downstream. It was great. He said that to me when I was in his ante room and making music. We weren't making music, but where he made music. And it was, I don't know, I was about to say chilling because what I meant was it brought me to a stop. But to hear him say it to me, I'm sure you had something like this happen to you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of the Beatles, did you ever stay in contact with any of them in the 70s?
No, John went off on his kind of wild party weekends and with Harry
And Mickey.
and Mickey. Right. And they went out and just stayed drunk and stoned the whole time. And I was not quite down into those grooves yet. You know, that whole high thing, this stuff is not poisonous, as you and I know. And it doesn't have what's called an LD50, which is to say you can't smoke enough to kill you. It doesn't have the toxin in it that killed the guys in the jet with Gary Shandling and the Petties and so forth. You know, that's not the first time that's happened. People get in there and they start smoking that fentanyl and that other OxyContin junk. And the next thing you know, all the little internal organs get a signal to shut down, and they do. And once they go bunk, you're out.
Yeah.
You ain't coming back.
That's on stage.
Yeah. And
Crazy.
so I don't know why we started talking about it, but it was to say that people tried to scare me with that, you know. But I've been smoking dope since I was 14. So, you know, I a lot different kind of grass then when I was 14 back down in Texas. For one thing, the Texas grass would get you put into prison for the rest of your life. And I was really careful of avoiding that. And And it was, you know, as a recreational drug, I just never found a second of harm in it, not even a second.
Are you,
A lot of fun.
I got a theory about this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame shit.
Here we go. Run.
Because there's people that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that use side musicians in the studio. I believe Mamas and Papas was one. They're in the Hall of Fame, and they used studio musicians just as much as the Monkees did, except for that one album.
Well, you know, Dennis, if I can comment on that,
Sure.
Everybody did. As you
Mhm.
were
That's
about,
what yeah, I agree.
you were about to say that. I knew, you know, I knew the members of the Birds, the members of all of the guys working in all of the groups, and we all talked, and we all hung out, and we all used first call session musicians to come in and either put a little lick in some place
All right.
or set some timing down to get the technicals up. And some of us did it more than the others.
Which brings me to my point. I think that the reason your guys aren't in is because when you were on TV,
yeah,
and you were selling it, that you were played all your instruments and people bought it.
yeah.
Then when they found out, no, we don't really play those instruments, I think they had a broken heart or got really disappointed, and it could have been traumatic for some because they saw you as this thing and you weren't this thing. And now those people work for Rolling Stone, you know.
Well, yeah, I take your point, Dennis, and you're right up to a point. The I don't know how disappointed people were that we were syncing the instrument tracks because that's the way it was done.
Oh,
We
okay.
didn't have any other technical ability to do it. We had tape recorders and we had ways to kind of get it in sync with the film, but the film ran at a different rate than the tape recorder did. And it took a lot to get them to sync up. Nothing I ever learned and nothing I ever wanted to learn. I knew other people could do that better than me and make it actually sync instead of me who couldn't do anything except make it look like a Japanese horror movie. And so that was one of the things that was afoot, you know, the idea that it was it was okay for us to not play, that we weren't not playing because we'd just come from a studio where we did play some of it, and we were in a studio where we could not play. By that, I don't mean we weren't able to. I mean, it was beyond the reach and skill of the technical equipment. We couldn't put it on a camera. We couldn't put it on a tape recorder. We didn't have that equipment. We had that equipment, but not that would sync up. Are you following what I'm saying to you? Yeah. So it wouldn't sync up. So we could sync it to the light, and we did do that. And there were times, but you know, when we walked up those steps on the big stadiums, we had to play. There wasn't any fooling around anymore after that. That was like bom, 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 bom. And I wish I could play that good. But nonetheless, it was a watershed. You know, if you're going to stand up here on stage and pretend to play, why don't you just play? And slowly over the first tour, that started to happen. And then when Hendrix came into our lives and then finally onto the tour, changed everything for me, because it was like, yeah, that's the way I want to play. And my angel voice said, well, you ain't never going to play like that. So just forget it.
You say you sell short story because the licks you play on Just Us are pretty tasty, I might add. There's a couple runs that you do like at the end of these songs where you're doing a you know, and I go on. Yeah, that's Nez. You got it.
Okay, well, yeah, I take the point. And thank you. Did you like Justice, by the way?
I love Justice. I thought it was well crafted, and I'm curious though, why did you choose to redo Circle Sky instead of just a new original from you?
Well, first of all, it's because it's so much fun to play.
Oh yeah,
and I love playing it, singing it, just farting around like we do when we play it, because it's a great crash and burn rock and roll song. It's the kind of thing, you're turning it up as loud as it'll go, play it in your garage, as loud as you can play it until the cops come, and then go in, and that's it. But it's that kind of a celebratory song, and it's the reconstruction of what has come apart, and that the salient message is that it did not come apart. It
It can't,
stayed.
because it's a circle.
That's right. That's
The
right.
circle will be unbroken.
Yeah, good for you, Dennis. That's exactly right. It can't because it's infinite, which is the nature of a circle.
And as a circle, it can expand and
Yeah.
it can contract,
That's right.
expand and contract, but it's always
Coming back
flowing,
on itself.
always
Yeah.
unbroken.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So that's one of the reasons I enjoyed playing it live with Mick. And Mick is on that same page. He loves to do it because he's playing the drums like a set of kitchen pots and pans. It
You guys-
sounds great, and it's just gay, absolute, unabashed abandon.
You, Mickey, I don't know him well to call him Mick, so I just say Mickey. And Peter, extraordinary parts, man. Peter laying down that hot bass and then doing keyboard stuff and your harmonies.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you, Dennis. It's all music to my ears and mother's milk to my heart, because
And that's why I had to go see you at the Billboard. And I was fortunate to get tickets from a Davy Jones fan.
yeah.
And a friend of mine was going down there to see Yes doing a meet and greet at Tower. And so she took me down there, and then I walked down to the Billboard and watched the show. And it was just, and if you look, not that it matters, but you can see the back of my shirt on one of your pants. I think is on the Monkeys, the movie you made. Hey, the new one, the last one you did. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Come on, Vern, work with me here.
Yeah. But here's the thing. We ran out of time.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm getting another signal from the hallway.
I need to go grab a pen from the studio.
Huh?
I'll be right back.
So you want a 5-minute hiatus? That's fine.
No, I'm saying, like, don't sign off. I'm getting the materials
No,
for
I
you to
won't
sign.
sign, but I'll give
and
you the
be
time
right
to go
back.
get that and come back.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Don't
Right.
say goodbye though, because you haven't done your job yet.
What?
Haven't done your job yet.
Oh, I see. I got more to sign.
Don't let him say goodbye, Dennis.
No goodbye, see, you ain't going nowhere, Michael Nesmith. I'm on to your skinny, conniving thing.
Have you ever smoked these cabanas?
No. Have you smoked this? This is what's called a shatter. It's THC down to a glass thing, and then you shatter it and put it in a cigar. 80% THC right here.
It looks like holy shit. It looks like you bought that at a dispensary.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
What a
it's
time we're
called-
living in. I used to
It's
hide the
called-
weed. Now it's everywhere. You know, it's a great time to be
called-
alive.
It's called Shatter.
Shatter. Look it up. It's great.
Oh, I'm off to the dispensary. Soon we're done here. This is my
I
last
gotta tell you, I covered one of your songs.
Well, if you're going to play it for me, you got to do it right now.
No, I'm not gonna play it, but I'm just saying, Sweet Young Thing. I covered Sweet Young Thing,
I'd love to hear that.
and I played all the instruments on it. And it's on I put it on one of my CDs that doesn't sell anywhere, so it doesn't matter.
But can you play it for me? You're not going to play it for me.
Well, I don't have the time. You said,
Well, we're out of time, no doubt about it. But I can talk to the boss.
okay.
Extend it a little bit. Just play me a couple of bars so I can kind of hear the direction you took off in. For some reason, I've lost the sound, Dennis. Dennis, I've lost your sound.
Hold on, hold on.
Okay. Well, I hear little bits, but not much.
Well, we tried.
We tried. Well, maybe you could just send me a little snippet of it. I'd love to hear it.
Sure. Anytime. I could put it in your what do they call it? PM thing on Facebook.
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah, send it to me there. Good. I'm gonna try to send you this. I think it's legal to send in the mail, so I'll try it. And it's but it's marijuana. So but aren't you in California?
Absolutely. I'm in Ontario, California.
Ontario, yeah. So it's legal here, and that's why I smoke it all the time. No, that's not why, but I feel confident about smoking it here. Although my friends are going, that's not going to kill you. You'll see. No, it hasn't killed anybody for 5,000 years. It's not going to kill me now. But it comes in this little tube, and it's a pre-roll, so it looks like that.
Mhm.
And I feel a lot of confidence that we can put it into a package that will disguise it so it'll get to you. And if you don't get it in a week or so, I'm going to send him a cabana, or try to. What were you going to do?
Oh my, not with the video range order.
Oh, we're getting shut down here. Well, how do I send this to Dennis?
I don't think we can.
Why not?
Joe Biden.
No. Don't
It's
run
the
this on
federal government.
your tiny political agenda.
No.
It's smaller than
it's
your
called
nostrils. It's so small.
prison time. That's what it is.
No, it's not prison.
He fired all this staff who've ever smoked marijuana. Don't
Well,
think.
that's him.
He wrote a bill that put a bunch of black men in jail for life.
Listen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did you notice it was 10 times of me saying listening before she shut up? So here's the thing. He doesn't care whether you smoke. He cares whether you're high. He doesn't want you to be on his job high, trying to do the job he's given you to do while you're blasted out of your blither head on dope. I don't blame him.
They weren't high at work.
Huh?
They were not high at work. Anyway, it's illegal to send drugs through the mail. Don't do that.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to get you in trouble, yo. It's all good.
No, you're not going to get in trouble. No, they're already in trouble. They've gotten so far behind the curve of felicity and mendacity. I don't ever know what they're thinking. So,
As soon as Joe Biden makes it legal, we will send it.
did you hear that? Yep, that seemed to register pretty
I
good.
got hope. I got hope.
Yeah, just go go out like every 10
Call
minutes.
your congressperson.
Go every 10 minutes to the mailbox.
I blame Santa. Always have, always will. He's to blame for everything.
Yeah, well, he's the original promise breaker. What would you like, little boy? I want a tricycle. Okay, you can count on it.
They say the Grinch was a nasty person. No, he was imitating Santa. That's why he wore the red suit and the hat, because Santa was his idol. He was so
Who?
bad.
Who?
The Grinch.
Oh, the Grinch. Yeah.
He
No,
was his
they
idol.
were two sides of the same coin, I'll submit. So there it is. Okay, Dennis, we burned everything up. I've got you a thing on the way. I signed.
No, you haven't signed yet.
I did sign it. I signed it and I held it up for him to see. Do you have the one that I signed, Dennis?
You haven't signed it yet, babe.
No, don't say that like you know it's true, because it is not true.
I know it's true because I just handed it to you.
I
You might be thinking of the last one that got the same thing.
I just signed it and I held it up to him like this, and the signature is right here, and it says for Dennis, Michael Nesmith, right? So you have that because I just did it. Can you hear this, Dennis? This is so outrageous.
You're thinking of Angie.
Andy who?
Angie. That's who you were on with before, and she got the same CD. I think that's what you're thinking of. You have
Nope.
not signed Dennis's CD
But
yet.
I'm gonna sign Dennis's now, right?
I've been trying to get the Monkeys Live CD, but I can't find it.
Which one is gone? Which one?
The new one, Mike and Mickey show.
Oh, it's
I
not.
find the CD, but I can't find it.
But it's not out yet.
Oh,
Well, I think that they sold out, or I'm not sure, because we were just trying to get CDs from them, and it took a long time.
Yes, we're happy. Heart's palpitating. Don't let it run off on you.
there's 2 CDs, right?
Yes. And there's that one with the gold pen.
That is, I hear, is an excellent CD. That's why I got to get it.
The Redux.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's great. I love it. I love working with the Redux.
I've seen bootleg videos on YouTube and always been impressed. And I can't let you go without saying While I Cry is one of my favorite Mike Nesmith Monkeys tunes.
Oh, that's so nice to hear you.
The opening of the guitar, the staccato picking, how your voice comes in, it makes you want to cry. And your yodel thing at the high up there.
Yeah.
I think you got a higher range than Mickey.
You think? Oh, okay, my friend, there you are.
I will be playing them on my radio show, sir.
That's good. This is a nice product. I'm proud of it. I think it's spooled out.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
Will there
picture,
ever be
huh?
any type of DVD or anything?
No, I don't think so. We're gonna ever put this out on DVD. No.
There is not a DVD of the show, or
No,
there's not a recording of the show.
Nothing
But-
scheduled.
We have a recording of the show you did with Pete for The Hits Just Keep On Coming.
Vinny?
And I hope that we'll find someone to put it together.
Okay. Thank you. Dennis, I guess we're done here. I gotta close it up. Enjoy your split.
It's such an honor to talk to you, sir.
As for me, you can't imagine how much fun this is for me. Meeting you and hearing what you're listening to and all that stuff, because it's directly connected to my work. So I'm connecting to the people who are connecting with the stuff. And that's, you can't imagine.
Your
how it
music
feels as an artist.
is part of the fabric of my life. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's amazing for me to hear that, because it is my life. So I'm really glad to hear that you can use it as wallpaper in yours in some areas. You know, it doesn't look all that good in the bathroom, but it looks good in the den. I don't
There's
know.
the Beatles over here. And
Yeah.
then that painting, I made that painting.
What, with the one on the wall?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How did you? That looks like airbrush.
It's not airbrush, there's airbrush in there, and there's just the like I don't know, it's like tube ink, and we just split it and do this, whatever we did. And it created a lot of cool things on it that were unintentional. I often get high and look at that, and I see faces and people dead on the ground, blood dripping down and shit. It's pretty crazy.
That is high.
Most high.
Well, Dennis, ever onward, ever upward. And we will see you on the road out there. We'll probably see each other for a long time.
I hope so. I hope this is not only the beginning, my friend.
Yeah, okay. And thank you for buying all this stuff and listening to it and knowing it like you do. I mean, the fact that you've got
money
it
well
dialed
spent.
into your life like this is so.
Money well spent. I consider this, you're a major influence on in my music, in my life. I tried to wear a wool hat, but I unfortunately found out I was allergic to 100% wool, and so I could never do that again. But
Sad day, sad day.
Long live Nez and long live the Texas Prairie Chicken.
Okay. God love you, Dennis Holsey Brook. See
Peace
you.
and love, my friend.
You bet. Bye.
Bye-bye.